What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm Madam Adam. It's time for another honest tarot deck review. I'm so excited, as I would be, for anything that has the word horror in the title. Today, we are looking at a deck that was gifted to me by my good Judy Tyler, Horror Tarot Deck and Guidebook. Ta-da! From Inside Editions. I don't know much about this other than what I've looked up and what I, what little bit of research I did ahead of recording this video. But the artwork looks really whimsical and fun. It looks very similar to a deck that I had, Dark Wood Tarot, I think might be done by the same artist. But full guidebook deck, we're going to talk about it, we're going to look at it, and it's, I love the box itself that it's kept in, the shiny horror. I love that, very fun. The back here says it includes a fully illustrated 78 card deck and a 128 page guidebook. We love that. Add an element of horror to your tarot experience with this spooky and unique take on the traditional 78 card tarot deck. This dark tarot set features scenes and characters inspired by classic horror literature, films, and beyond, and gorgeous original illustrations featuring both major and minor arcana. The set also comes with a helpful guidebook explaining each card's meaning, as well as simple instructions for easy readings. Packaged in a sturdy decorative gift box, this terrifying collectible tarot deck is the perfect gift for the horror fan or tarot enthusiast. Well, we will see for ourselves, won't we? But I will agree, the box is really pretty. Very cool. I do love the spooky ooky inside, the skulls and eyeballs and thing. I don't know if you can see that really well, but the skulls and eyeballs and sides and spiders and knives and things, hatchets and stuff. Very bloody, very fun. It says here that it's illustrated by Abigail Larson, written by Aria, Gmitter, and Minerva, Siegel. So there's 3 people involved in making this one deck. I don't know, for me personally, sometimes I find that when there's too many hands involved, it can get a little wonky. So one artist, one author makes sense. More than one author, one artist. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But Inside Editions, as I said, the artwork is really interesting and super cool. It feels very whimsical. And it looks like Dark Wood Tarot. I'm not sure if Abigail did that art as well. But let's look at the guidebook here. Very, standard, small. We love to see it. Let's see. Oh, I didn't know this bit here. Inside Edition, in association with Roots of Peace, will plant 2 trees for each tree used in the manufacturing of this book. Huh. Very cool. I wonder how many of their decks or books are like this. It also says Roots of Peace is an internationally renowned humanitarian organization dedicated to eradicating landmines worldwide and converting war-torn lands into productive farms and wildlife habitats. Who knew? Huh. Roots of Peace will plant 2 million fruit and nut trees in Afghanistan and provide farmers there with the skills and support necessary for sustainable land use. Interesting. Well, we love a good cause. Let's see. Let's look at the intro to this book a little bit. Here we go. Welcome to the Horror Tarot Deck and Guidebook. Prepare to face your worst fears, if you dare. Each card brings to life frightful characters from gargoyles to vampires that bring thrills and chills in a safe and playful way. Why a horror deck when some people may have concerns that tarot is evil? That's a great question that I get asked a lot. Why am I so into horror, and why am I into horror tarot stuff if tarot already has such a bad vibe? But like, as I always say, there's exorcism movies out the ass. That hasn't stopped the Catholic Church. So anyway, tarot began as a card game in Italy and later developed into a tool used to predict the future. Okay. Don't love that, but okay. And learning to read tarot cards is so much more than divination. That I agree with. You don't have to be psychic, a medium, or an astrologer to gain wisdom, clarity, and guidance about your hopes, dreams, and fears when pulling a card from this deck. Facts, but we're not reading the future. In fact, both beginning and experienced tarot readers will get goosebumps and hair-raising surprises at how deadly accurate these horror characters can be when you need a little insight into a problem that keeps you awake at night. Just remember, never store your horror cards under the bed or in the closet, especially if you're afraid to look there at night. The boogeyman may want to use them too. I love that. That's very fun. Very fun, and I love the word usage to make it spooky. That's fun. Understanding your tarot deck. Yeah. This all seems pretty standard. Each element helps us to understand our darkest motives, angriest ambitions, waking nightmares, haunted dreams. Yeah, just a lot of spooky verbiage, which is really cool. We love that in a themed deck like this. So yeah. No real other info, I don't think, on the authors, or at least not in the... Oh, here we go. About the author. Aria Gmitter, MS, MFA, is an editor, writer, astrologer, tarotist, numerologist, and mother of 4 children. She has a degree in comparative religious studies and is a graduate of the School of Oracles in New York City and the Midwest School of Astrology. Very cool. Her syndicated works have appeared around the world, and her Instagram is listed. Minerva Siegel is the author of Tarot for Self-Care, How to Use Tarot to Manifest Your Best Self. She writes about tarot, witchcraft, and living with disabilities for print magazines and online publications. When not writing, she practices divination and drinks rose lattes in the Victorian house she shares with her husband and their rescue dogs, and her Instagram is listed as well. About the illustrator, Hugo Award-winning illustrator Abigail Larson specializes in gothic fantasy illustration using a unique mix of traditional and digital media. Her work has been featured in galleries throughout the US and Europe. She's worked with Sideshow Collectibles, Sci-Fi, Universal, Titan Comics, Llewellyn Worldwide, DC, Dark Horse. Yeah, no wonder her work looks really familiar to me. So I wouldn't be surprised if Darkwood was hers as well. So yeah, I really enjoy the art. I love the vibe of the horror in all of this. I was looking through some of the cards though, and I'm not sure how much I care for the deck myself, which is disappointing because I do love any kind of horror deck. But this one in particular feels a little, you know what, this is my review, I'm gonna say what I want. It feels a little cash grabby. It feels like, let's make a tarot deck. Like, that's what it feels like. The images are very, as they put here, the artist Abigail Larson specializes in gothic fantasy. So it makes sense that there might be a vibe of romanticism to the cards. And looking at some of the definitions, I'm a little disappointed in the vibe that we took here. This is like tarot for teens, tarot for tweens. It's giving very PG-13, very spooky ooky. It's a little romantic in a figurative, artistic, and also literal sense. I like the back of the art of the card imagery. I like that. I like the little the corners, I think, are really fun, the little points and everything. And the imagery is great. I like it a lot. I like the way that things are labeled here. The mass-produced vibe, though, came to me because the Tower card is mislabeled as 21 instead of it being 16. The devil is 15, and then this says 21, and it's not, it's a typo. It's not like there's, oh, maybe in this deck there's 2 21s. No, the world is 21, and the tower is supposed to be 16, and even in the book, it has the tower as 16, but it's the wrong Roman numeral in the top as it's labeled up here. See, I don't know if you guys can see that really well, but it says 21. And that's supposed to be the tower. It is the tower, but it's just mislabeled. So how many of these went out misprinted? You know, see, again, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people, 2 authors and an artist. Why does there need to be so many people to make one deck? I do like the card stock. I like this kind of matte finish. The images are fun. A lot of the images are really cool. I like them a lot. The Ace of Pentacles to start with is a detached hand, which is really cool. I like that a lot of the images are just... like, this is the 9. They're just spooky. They're just spooky images that I think are really, really cool, really fun. And then we get to some things like Queen of Swords. I don't get it. You know what I mean? I don't get why that would be. It's like, okay, that's a Queen of Swords. Like, it's just, why did we put certain images to certain cards? You know, it just makes you wonder and makes you ask questions, and that's what makes each deck different and each artist unique, and the style and the reasons that they picked what they picked makes the deck unique itself. But see, here you go, 2 of Cups energy. Why is it this romantic exchange here. And then I said, well, let me go and look at the lovers then, if this is how I feel about, like, strength. I don't get that one. We'll talk about that one in a second. That one doesn't make sense to me. Where's the lovers? Yeah, a romantic embrace kind of thing. So let's look at the guidebook and see, well, why did they label them these way? Why was that the image? What were we going for? Strength in particular, I was like, strength, it says there are people that will do anything to feel superior, lurking in shadows to strike with all their might. When the strength card arrives, consider it a warning to beware of those that may try to dominate you. So I'm like, okay, I understand that we're going for like a horror theme, but we shouldn't use, the theme shouldn't take over the definition. Strength is about resilience. It's a Leo thing, and maybe like being afraid of the lion looming or whatever, but it says upright. With blunt force, you move effortlessly through life's challenges, confident in your decisions, but be mindful to keep your destructive tendencies in check. Okay, I'll give you that one. And then the reversed is like, so much power is possessed in your hands. Your mind is sharp like a blade of an axe and ready to strike. Now make your pent-up anger, revenge, and rage work constructively. If you don't, your impulses can turn dead. Like, I get it. We're using the horror theme, but like the definition of that was terrible. A warning that those may want to try to dominate you. That's what strength means. And the image is just like this hatchet kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde looking Jack the Ripper dude. I'm like, all right. Like, it sounds to me like this is more fun than it's meant to be, like, serious. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I take tarot a little seriously, but it's literally become my life and my passion and my job and my career and, like, what I do. But to me, like the lovers. Okay, here we go. The lovers. Like the deep desire of a couple destined to be together, but cursed by circumstances beyond their control, the lovers embrace tightly in the dead of night, unaware of what danger lurks to pull them apart. Okay. Upright, it means love or lust. You're standing at a crossroads and your emotions are on the line. Do you let your heart take control or take a safer path? But why does it have to be love or lust? You know what I'm saying? Like, why does it have to be that thing? True love never dies, but when you trust is broken, it's hard to get back to innocence. You can work things out or go separate ways. Why does it have to, what if this was a career reading? Why, see, it's overly romantic, which says to me this is for a younger audience, first and foremost. Beginner friendly. No, because I don't want my beginners learning like this. I don't want beginners learning this way. I would feel comfortable using this deck. I won't be, but I would feel comfortable using this deck because I have an understanding and knowledge, and I don't really need the guidebook, but I would still look at it like, okay, what do they think? But knowing that, like, so many other various definitions that are deeper than these meanings make me not want to even use the guidebook. So I don't really enjoy this deck myself. This isn't a favorite of mine. I'm kind of let down in a horror deck being so romantic. That's something that I've discovered as well, that when a lot of people recommend scary books to me or novels or scary literature, that oftentimes it has like a twist of romance, and it's like, no, the moment that you said that it's this scary guy who meets a girl, I'm like, nope, no, I don't want any happily ever afters. I want the abrupt, and then life sucks credits. Like, that's my kind of horror that I like. That's maybe just me being morbid, but like, this is a horror deck. And again, I understand that we were kind of leaning on the horror aesthetic here. And a lot of the other definitions I agree with. But the majors, some of the majors being what they are, is just not it to me. Let's look at the Two of Cups for funsies. Oh, Three of Swords. Perfect. Three of Swords. Loss is at the heart of the Three of Swords, which could indicate the end of a relationship. Why? Why? Or actual physical death of a beloved person. We don't go there. You don't predict death. You don't talk about death. You don't do that. This card also symbolizes affairs, cheating, and someone who will discover an unfaithful partner. See, too many authors. There's too many authors. Reverse. Your heartache you felt is now behind you, and although your pain remains raw, you're finally in a place where you're ready to take steps toward healing. This is a very shallow look at tarot. And again, you can tell because there's a typo. There's a typo in this deck. If you have this deck at home, let me know in the comments if the tower is number 21 or if it's just my deck, because that's not a smudge. That's an XXI. And when I was putting this deck together, I was like, why is that like that? XV, and then it should be XVI. No, it's XXI. So the tower is mislabeled. And if this was a deck that I made, I would care a little bit more about it to notice it. So, and mistakes happen, shit happens, but like, this feels like a cash grab for the horror community and for tarot, and I don't recommend it. If you're into horror and you want to collect it, collect it. Again, I like some of the images. I might use it at a convention or something, but anytime that the Lovers comes up, I'm gonna cringe. So I don't really care for it as personal use. I would consider this more of a novelty deck in my opinion. So a full look at the deck is coming up for you guys. Let me know what you think. This one's kind of a want and kind of a disappointing thing. Do you think that having too many authors, too many hands making one deck is a thing? People ask me all the time, Madam, when are you going to make a deck? And I intend to down the road somewhere, but I am not an artist. I am creative, but I'm not an artist. So I would have to have someone do the art for me. So I would have to collaborate with an artist. So it would be two people making a deck, right? But maybe more than one author, like more than one definition, things can get muddled, in my opinion. And seeing how many people worked on this, I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed that a horror deck went more towards gothic romance instead of just terror. And it seemed that we just used the theming of horror in making the definitions, you know, what it is. Oh, you will be terrified at how accurate the readings are. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I understand the theming. And I love good theming like that. Don't get me wrong. But this just feels kind of, you know, kind of just not, this just feels very cash grabby and not genuine to me at all. So that's what I think, which is disappointing because I like the back, I like the feel of it, I like the look of it. But anyway, that's what I think. A full look at the deck is coming up right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you have this deck? Do you resonate? What's your tower card like? What do you think of the art? Is there anything about this that you enjoy? Are you like, no, Madam, this is a great deck. You need to lighten up. Am I taking this too seriously? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Don't forget to share. And I'll see you guys next time. A full look at Horror Tarot is coming up right now.